Hi Kathleen, it's Danica. I'm just going to take the next few minutes and walk you through some of the main points of my independent study. I'm going to touch on four kind of major things here, and they are the learning process and the tools I undertook and why I used them, what the deliverables were that I achieved, along with how does this whole thing make me a better professional, and how would I manage the process differently. So as far as the learning process, that I implemented it was pretty simple. I just had to read the books in the weeks that they were scheduled. I had to buy the books on the Wednesday before the week that I had to read them. So I made it fairly easy for myself. As far as secondary tools that I used, Google mainly just because I would take to that if I wasn't particularly understanding a certain concept in the book, or if I had a certain opinion and I wanted to see what other readers thought about that. So as far as other tools go, I mean my computer to order some other books, to Google page numbers, to schedule myself. My independent study was fairly simple as compared to other people's, so that's about it for tools. The deliverables that I achieved, as mentioned in my proposal, I have managed to maintain the schedule plus or minus a day or two, just with this semester that has presented me with. Ordering the next book ahead of time on the Wednesday before was really beneficial to what I found. It helped me avoid going the next day or the day of, trying to scramble to make sure that chapters had the book, and if chapters didn't have the book, then I would be screwed essentially. So I would definitely implement that if I were to do this again. The page numbers proved to be an issue just because the website that I used, Goodreads, to find out the page numbers, some of the time they were incorrect, so my scheduling was a little bit off and I had to adjust for that when I got the book. The half-page summaries that I mentioned in my proposal as well, they kind of turned into more of half-page point form summaries, and as far as that goes, I think I'm okay with it just because I'm still getting the main points and main keys down that I want to remember going forward. And so they've kind of turned into something more along those lines as opposed to a formal book review. Moving on to how this makes me a better professional. So Colton mentioned in my proposal, he was my marketing person that I used in my proposal. He said that it's vital to always be searching for new knowledge and just trying to stay up on market trends and concepts in the field. So I think reading all of these books definitely helped me with that. Through doing this, I've also learned how to balance trying to stay up to date along with other responsibilities that I have in my life, so school, work, just other life things in general. I've also learned how to apply these things I'm learning in real time. Even though I may not necessarily be learning them in the classroom, I can still kind of take a step back and realize what I can bring to the table on my own. So that's been an interesting concept for me, trying to learn how to actually apply everything that I'm learning in these books to my life. And how would I manage this process differently? So I definitely think that I was overconfident in the amount of books that I scheduled myself to read, along with the time that I scheduled to read them. So I think if I were to do this next time, I would lower the amount of books, and I would probably extend my timeline to about a week and a half, just to give myself time to actually reflect on what I'm learning instead of going boom, 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 and just kind of whizzing by them. I also think I would go to chapters when I'm searching for books to schedule for myself. I think I would go to chapters and look as well as look online, because I found when I searched online, a lot of the lists that I was searching for, so best business books for women in 2018, best women in business books kind of thing, they would provide me with the same books in every list essentially, so I wasn't being as exposed. And with that, I can also see I can kind of tell if I'm going to like the book itself. So, for example, I thought I was really going to like Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office. It turns out that I hated it. I hated the format, and it was just not an enjoyable read for me. So that could have been prevented had I gone into chapters. And I think if I were to recommend anything to do anything for someone, that would be a major thing. So that's all about I have for you today, and I hope you enjoyed listening to what I learned and some of the other things that I talked about in this video, and I will see you in class.